Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Tin Shed Shenanigans. Today we're going to be finishing up where we left off on the old Generac that the fuel tank was full of crud and rust and everything. Spent some time off camera vacuuming out the tank. It's completely dry now, and instead of sounding like a maraca, it sounds less like a maraca. There's still some stuff in there, but I'm gonna put a big inline clear filter that you can, see through it instead of the little short pancake ones. But yeah, let's get this fuel tank put back together, get it back on here, run all of our fuel lines, and put some gas in it and see if this thing runs on its own. If I don't have to pull that carburetor, I'm not going to. For one reason, I'm gonna flip this thing around so y'all can kind of see a little bit better. Don't drop that on my bolts or anything. That is an updraft carburetor, meaning all the air comes from underneath and then it sucks it in. And it looked really complicated to pull, and I would rather the first carburetor I pull like this to not be mine. That way if I mess something up, because I don't think they make parts for these things that accessible anymore. So I'm going to get petcock back in and the fuel tank bolted back down, and then we're going to get some fuel in this thing, we're going to run fuel lines and then put fuel in it. Don't want to mix that up. So yeah, let's get right into that. If he's loud now, it doesn't matter. I'm going to just mute and speed run through this. Okay, we got our fuel tank kind of set back down, and I was gonna kind of go through, fuel lines a little bit. But really, I wanted to kind of say to everyone who just started watching the channel, who's been watching the channel, a huge thank you to you guys. This weekend, I wasn't able to open the little Etsy shop like I wanted, because Saturday was my son's first birthday, so I was, not trying to really focus on anything channel-wise, just trying to enjoy that moment. But we are at 103 subscribers, at least as I checked at about 1 o'clock today on my lunch break. I was at 103 subscribers, so huge thank you to everyone. I really and truthfully did not think I'd ever get this big, this quick. I started filming in January. It is now beginning of May, and I'm at 100 subscribers. So huge thank you to everyone. I'm super excited to see, where we're going to end up, how we're going to be, and I hope all of you can, stay with me on this journey as I'm figuring all this out, and we're all learning together. So I just wanted to kind of say that. I'm going to get me a pair of pliers so I can get that shut off. And actually first, I'll get the fuel line run to my carburetor. Okay. carburetor line is ran. Okay. Let me get this put on here first before I do that. We don't want any leaks. Especially not that close to the exhaust. But like I said, we're going to do a clear inline filter. That way you can kind of see everything. And there's a zip tie. Okay. Cut a little piece of hose to fit. Yeah, these are not hose pliers or hose cutters at all. These are just like PVC cutters that I have utilized as hose cutters. So, need to go inside or in the shop and get me a real pair of pliers. Yeah, let me go do. Yeah, that's another reason I'm replacing all these fuel lines. If you can hear my son screaming in the background, he is out in the shop with me. So let me go grab a pair of pliers and then I'll be right back. Okay, I went in the shop and got my Caterpillar multi-tool, which I actually got at a family Dirty Santa. Let me get something and clean this fuel shutoff out. Because it was a little stopped up right there actually. There we go. That's better. Okay. Put this on. No, but as far as my my Etsy shop goes, I'll have the new style of hats that I showed in the second part of the snapper video. So if you have not seen that video, I recommend you go check it out. But if you have seen it, then you know it's the hat with the nice leather patch on it. And they are, I'll put a link in the description of this video, and I'll put a link in the description of the channel. So that way you can easily find it. You'll be able to find the logo for the channel on the Etsy. My wonderful wife actually helped me do that while I was at work today. So a huge thank you to her to keep me from having to struggle with that. Oh, get on there. All right. Is that maybe too long? Maybe. Will it work? Let's hope so. I'm gonna throw some gas in this thing and then we'll see if she fires up on her own. So, I'll get back with y'all. I'm not sure how well you guys can see, but there's already gas down in the filter. So that is a plus. I'm not going to stick the filler cap on because it has some rust that I need to clean off and all the fun stuff like that. We're going to make sure this is in run. This is choke. That's closed. So let's put it on choke. Okay. Carburetor leaks profusely. So we will have to pull the carburetor off. So let's see if she runs. That's I guess that's choke off. Give it a little help. Because if we can get it to kind of run, we might be able to get it to oh, I think that fixed it. And normally if you have a carburetor where the float bowls are sticking, you can tap on it sometimes that jarring will free them. So let's hope that works. Okay, it ran on its own. From the sounds of it, I'm gonna have to pull that carburetor off, which now looking at it, doesn't look too difficult to do. Yeah. Also, that just came off, which I think that's the shutoff. But I can see it's leaking around the float bowl, or the bowl assembly. So let's see if we can't get it fired back up. Still got gas in it, so let's see if I can get it fired back up. Oh, come on. Yeah, that carburetor needs to be going through. But I want to see putting out power before I spend all that time getting the engine to run again. Because if it's not putting out power, it's not doing us any good.
You want them to go?
Hey, it actually may just run out of fuel. So I'm actually going to grab y'all and bring y'all a little bit closer so you can see exactly why I wanted to put a clear filter on this thing. See all that trash and sediment in there? All that would have ended up straight back in the carburetor. But since we had this nice little filter, it's catching it. Which I may actually have that filter backwards. I do, because this is a new style of filter. You see how it's all kind of catching on the outside? Means it needs to be flipped, because now all that can go into there. I'm going to shut the fuel line off, get a new filter, flip it around, and we'll try again. So it did in fact run out of fuel in the bowl, or the filter and everything, but it's because this got stopped up again. So I'm gonna go see if I can find a drill bit to get whatever remainder of screen is left in there, because no matter how much I tried to vacuum it out and blow it out and clean it out, that's still in the tank and it's gonna come loose everywhere. So we're gonna fix that. So I'll be back and show y'all how I fixed it. So what I did was I took a small screwdriver and just like killed the rest of the screen that was in that petcock. So hopefully that fixed it. But I've got y'all angled where y'all can see this now. Yeah. This one's a little different. Got a whole bunch of stuff in the tank. So I'm gonna let my my dad's neighbor kind of make the call on that one if he wants to take this one back and, you know, keep using it, or if he just wants to use it for parts or get rid of it. It runs, it's gonna need a new tank. With that much stuff in it, it's gonna need a new tank. But I wanted to get it running. It's making power. It sounds a lot better too. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to pull off that carburetor, but I would rather not do that on camera, mainly because that's going to be a major ordeal of pulling all that off and making sure everything's set back right and everything like that, because with how old this thing is, I'm going to bring y'all in and show y'all what I'm working with. A lot of this is aluminum, and that bolt is right there by the exhaust, and I'd be worried that exhaust would snap off. So, yeah, it's leaking some, but she runs. So I may leave this just as it sits, because I would hate to break off bolts, especially in this carburetor. But I'm gonna do a little research real quick, see if I can find this carburetor and everything like that, make sure it's reasonable, because this generator's a little old. And the other two we had are newer. So I would hate to go, yeah, we can put, you know, another $60, $70 into this one when you have two good running ones, that one is a lot bigger than this one and the other one is a little smaller and a lot lighter and a lot easier to move around. So let me see if I can find a carburetor and I'll get back. If I can't find one for a reasonable price, it will be kind of a we're gonna leave it here situation. But don't worry, there's plenty more content to behold us. I've actually, once I get this one done, I'm gonna kind of organize under here a little bit and bring in another one that's been sitting for a while. So yeah. All right guys, so he did say that to put a carburetor on it, go ahead and do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to attempt to get this thing apart and get this thing off without breaking anything, so everything can easily come off and I'll have a new carburetor. If it's ordered tonight, it can be here Wednesday. So I'm gonna see if I can't get this thing apart, and that way it'll be apart. So I'm gonna work on getting the two screws out by the cylinder head. The kit I'm getting has a new filter, new air filter, and a new spark plug with it, and some cleaners. So once I get this thing off, if I can clean it up, I'll keep it as a backup just so I can use it for parts. But I'm gonna attempt to get a new carburetor and everything on there. So all right, I'm gonna see if I can't pop this thing off and I'll get back with y'all. Okay, we're back out here again tonight. It is currently Wednesday night. My new carburetor came in, and it came with an air air filter, a carburetor, new fuel line, 3 filters, and it came with a little carb jet cleaning kit, which I was super excited about. The incorrect spark plug for this motor, and a gasket. So I'm gonna get y'all set up where y'all can see me get this thing out. And I have plenty of spark plugs up there on my highly sophisticated parts rack. And we're gonna get this thing off and put a new one on. And probably replace that filter, because it looks a little grody. But yeah, let's get to it. We are now right here. Let's position the light a little more where I can see what I'm doing. I gotta get that, and attempt to get that screw. And looking at this exhaust, I might be able to just unscrew it. Oh, maybe not. But so that is off. Let me grab my peanut butter jar, and yeah, fuel line is off. Peanut butter jar. And just kind of drain everything at once out of the carburetor, so I'm not dealing with a mess of fuel everywhere. Never mind the light flicker. I think a bug got stuck in there. Okay, that's fine. Cool, y'all can't really see that anyway. So I'm gonna grab a Phillips head, see if I can't get that off. Well, slight change of plans. My starter is not engaging at all. So I can spin it and I can feel the piston and everything moves. So I've got to replace the starter. And then I can see if I've got compression. I've actually got a starter like that. It's from my grandpa. So I'm gonna go stick it on there and see what happens. So I got the carburetor off. It was a lot easier than I was expecting with how rusty those bolts looked and how close they were to the exhaust. But, you know, we have a new carburetor, so I don't need to do this, but I'm just curious as to what this thing looks like on the inside. Because it obviously was leaking from the float bowls for a good little bit until we tapped it and then it stopped. But it can't hurt to just pop this thing open and see how, you know, nasty and dirty it is inside, especially with what kind of fuel came out of this thing. And it is leaking around the float bowl. So, you know, a rebuild kit for this thing was like $20. A whole new carburetor with an air filter and everything was like $25. Ah, nasty, dirty fuel. What is keeping you together? Is it you? I think you're just a drain. That is exactly what you are, is just a drain. So let's do the unforgivable and stick a screwdriver in here and pry. So we at least know how this thing comes apart. I think it's like, there it goes. Come on. This thing being updraft, it's a little seized. Ah. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, okay, so this is the main jet. Oh, it's not as bad as I was expecting. The carburetor, if it had a gasket kit, might still be good, because everything still moves on it, and we heard it run. It will be a parts carburetor. Yeah, this will be a parts carburetor, because it's still got some good parts to it. You know, throttle blades and everything like that are still good, but it was just leaking too bad for my liking. So we have this new one, very new, very shiny. Get those beads out. I'm gonna stick this thing on, and then yeah, and then we'll fire it up. So let's do that. So if you'll notice, everything is taken apart right now, and that would be because the new carburetor looks the exact same. However, it is not. Yeah, the threaded holes that, you know, bolt the carburetor to the intake are not the same size, and I would rather not tap all that. So what I did was I basically robbed all the gaskets and everything out of the new carburetor to stick in the old one, because it ran pretty good. So I'm gonna just clean everything up to the best of my abilities, and we're gonna just send it and hope for the best. Because like I said, a rebuild kit for this carburetor was like 20 bucks. This whole kit was like 25, and it came with an air filter and fuel filters and everything like that. And a fuel filter by itself is like 6 or 7 bucks. So I mean, like, we're still coming out on top. It's just gonna take me a little more work. But, you know, a little hard work never killed nobody. Okay. And then we will simply come on. Firmly grasp it. Okay. And I can't forget to put the main jet back in. That's the main jet. The big long brass piece that I just set down, that I just cleaned. And I could go with a new one. I really could. But I don't want to because there's a hole higher up. It's a smaller hole than the rest of them. It's higher up in the main jet that the new one does not have. So I am going back with the old one. I just cleaned it out. It didn't have any trash or anything in it, so we should be okay on that one. But this is basically a brand new carburetor. That I rebuilt on the floor. Why? Because my workbench is dirty. And my wife had some extra kitchen mats. And she's like, I don't want these anymore. And I was like, ooh, these look like anti-fatigue mats that they sell in shops and stuff for a ridiculous amount of money. I'll take it. Okay. Feed that in there. Tighten our main jet back up. And I'll get all this slapped back together. I just figured y'all would appreciate whenever you're like, wait, that's the old carburetor. Yeah. Things like this happen. It's okay. Okay. Everything's on. I just don't have this fuel line connected to the carburetor. This fuel filter stopped up. No, I think our petcock again is stopped up. There it goes. That fuel looks so nasty. There's just so much. There it goes. There. I'll just stick this back on here. I also fixed this little wire that kept coming off on us. Alright. Now I'm going to move y'all back so that you can see the carnage run for itself. Okay. Everything should be kind of kosher. I may actually drain that. Where's my bad gas container? I have to use another bad gas container. This one also has some old junk in it. Siphon out what we can with our doohickey. Yeah, that doesn't look the greatest. Let's just get this fuel line off and let it run directly into this jug to try to get all that junk out. The fuel doesn't look the greatest. So what we may actually do is pop this tank off, throw our backup tank on, and if the holes line up, bolt it on with that, because that still technically is a Generac tank. So while this is doing its thing and draining out. I'm gonna see if I can't figure out a way to make this work. So if I can figure it out, I'll bring y'all back. Okay, couldn't figure out anything because the petcock I do have leaks. That actually fits the backup tank, and the one out of this tank doesn't fit it. So I flushed it out some more because the new tank's $150. But let's see if I don't see any carburetor leaking, so she's in run. She's on choke. Take it off choke maybe? Can't tell if it's fuel line leaking or if it's leaking from the bowl. Come on, you old thing. Cooperate with me. That's leaking from the carburetor. Come on. Turn off choke. Come on. Come on, old girl. Ooh. I smoked my finger somewhere. Come on. she'll start to run and then she wants to die out. It's like as soon as the governor kicks in and it throttles up some, she wants to die out. This one may just be too far gone for redemption of, you know, doing its own thing. Let's pull this cover back off, and maybe she's just not getting enough air like she wants. Let's pull that pre-filter off. Okay. Why are you doing this to me? I'm just trying to help you live. Nothing's being funny. Maybe I need to replace the fuel filter. Or it's the fact that the gas I'm getting is like nothing. Oh my lord. That is a lot of stuff that came out of that fuel filter. Yeah, let's put a new one on. There we go. Let's try that. I know y'all probably can't see it that well on the camera or smell it, but this thing smells like bad gas when it's running. And I think it's from all that crud just settling down. Come on. Come back around, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. You're doing it. There you go. Come on, get back to life. Okay, slowly but surely was getting back there on her own. Okay. I think it's going to put us at a good stopping point for tonight because it's about 10 o'clock and I still need to go shower and everything like that. But she was smoking something fierce. Fuel in the tank doesn't look as bad. It doesn't look great, but it doesn't look as bad. The only thing that I really did different was put a different spark plug in it. But I don't think that would cause this issue. I swear, if it's something I did with the carburetor. That is what it looks like. What is your malfunction? There should be gas. At least a tenth of it come out of the hole. We'll make it go. Let's see. I may have put that main jet in a bit too far. And now it's not happy about its existence. So where to put that little needle at? There it is. Okay, so let me loosen this bolt, which is probably going to make a massive mess if I don't shut this off first. This was kind of the reason I didn't want to mess with this updraft carburetor, but try to fire off that time. I think I screwed it in too far. Let me see if I can find a smaller screwdriver. I'm gonna see if I can piddle with that and then I'll get back. Okay, so it's Saturday morning. I know it's been a while since I posted a video. But we're back out here to try to get this thing going. And all that just came out of the carburetor. So that's what fuel is soaked in. That might be why the carburetor's not working right. So what I'm gonna try to do is, that's awful, take this thing apart, get the gasket back out, reassemble the new one. I've got some bolts that should work on the new carburetor to bolt it on. and attempt to run out of a jug or something to bypass that fuel system, because that's going to need a new tank. There's no getting around it. It needs a new tank. And there's no telling. At least the intake's clean. So yeah, I'm going to get this thing apart off camera, attempt to get it to work right, and we'll see what happens. Well, it took a little doing, and I actually found some bolts from another engine that I've done to make this work. And I noticed when I looked down, that was coming out of the fuel line. So, like, the fuel system on this is basically trashed, because this is still open. Like, that's not closed, it's wide open. Now it's closed, and it just, junk was coming out of it. So I think the fuel system is just gone. So what I'm gonna do is attempt to find a funnel of some sort to run this out of. So let me go find that, and then I'll get y'all set up where y'all can see and hope this works. The old, spare tank is on it because I re-tapped the tank itself to see if it would fit, and it does. The petcock does fit, but I want to make sure I'm gonna be okay running the new carburetor. I don't see any leaks right now. I just have a bust. I opened up a fuel filter, so I have like a little small funnel, and I zip tied it right there so I can put some gas in it. Hopefully not make a mess. Let me turn this light on. The door just shut. Yeah. Hopefully not make a mess. And fire this thing up. Sorry if I sound really nasally. Like I said, that's the reason this video is coming out a little later than I would like it, is because we've been redoing a bathroom, and we've been putting flooring in this week and trim, and got the toilet in, and we've only been able to work on it when me and my brother-in-law get off work. So it's been a whole ordeal. Apologize for the video coming out late, but we have to make do with what we have. I'll choke. I despise updraft carburetors with a passion. Because currently this bowl is leaking. Oh, come on. Not the bowl, but it's like it's sticking. But it may just be because it's never had fuel in it. Also, pull cord is super slow to come back. That tire's about to just like fall off. Let me see if I got some WD or something I can spray on that. Because I can't replace the pull cord because it's part. It's just that spring is so wore out. Come, I need you to just cooperate with me. I'm trying to help you. come. If you will run into the little funnel, I'll put the fuel tank on you and let you run into the fuel tank. Okay. Guys, I'm gonna have to go out on a limb and say this one just doesn't want to come back to life. Yes, it was running before I pulled the carburetor and everything off, but it was very bad in that fuel tank, and it just keeps turning to sludge every time that I let it sit with any kind of fuel in it. A new fuel tank for this thing is $200 to fit this one. I could make this one work, but this is my backup fuel tank. So, but we did hear it run. We got it running. But to make it run reliably, it's just, it's not wanting to cooperate with us too much. Let's see if we can't just get a fuel line on it. Cross our fingers and see if it does anything. Let me get that all plumbed up and I'll see what happens. Okay guys, well the bad fuel in the old tank decided to kill everything. It gummed up the gasket for the new carburetor, and it'll kind of run and then it'll spit and sputter, and it's by the time I get a new fuel system and everything in, it'll be like $300 in. So I think this one's kind of gone. But yeah, thanks for watching. Okay guys, thank you for watching this one. This has been like the second failed revival attempt for a generator. Funny enough, both of them being Generacs. This one's got way more issues than it's worth to fix. So, yeah, make sure, there's a link in the description of my channel for my Etsy shop. Make sure y'all check that out. We've got some hats. Remember, with every hat you buy, you get a free sticker. But yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. We're at 109 subscribers right now. Thank you guys so much. That's huge to me, actually. That makes me feel, you know, really good about myself and really good about, you know, how the channel's gonna do. But yeah, y'all make sure that y'all hit that bell icon so you never miss another episode of Tin Shed Shenanigans, because we got some big things to come in the next couple videos that are currently in the making. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another episode.